What's up, everyone? This is the Osmo.com NHL Hit the Ice show. We have got a big slate for you today, as we have lately on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm joined by the line change master himself, Nolan Kelly. What's up, Nolan?
What's happening?
Not much. These big slates are fun, but there's a lot to delve into for sure.
They're hard. It's an interesting one tonight because there aren't a lot of places to pay down at D. And there's a lot of really nice lines in very good positions that are priced up. So, strategy I think is going to be important on this one, and finding some filler lines that you actually like so you don't have to punt D will be key.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. So I've been trying to pay up for D lately. Yeah. So I'm going to try to do that tonight. There are quite a few lines in the mid tier I like. So I haven't had too much of an issue. It's just like you are on DK, especially, you are going to have to sacrifice like the Colorado ones and some of these other expensive lines like Tampa maybe. And so it gets, I
think it's always slate dependent too, right? Like last night, I feel like with Pettersson and Stetcher, we had at least some guys you could count on that were in some high upside positions. And in this slate, I'm not finding any below like 4K range on either site. So
I smashed with that lineup I tweeted you last night. Got 61 points. Dang, nice job, Steven. That's pretty cool. Yeah,
sounds like 2 wash 1.
Probably, yeah. Big slate today. Boston won a lock. That's actually going to be the first game we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't think they're a lock, but that's just me. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I was just looking on the Vegas lines here, and I was surprised to see them, like, their total went up, and it's still gone up. I don't know what we have them as. I'm looking on one site that has them at 3.9. But with Pastrnak out, I'm surprised that didn't go down. I mean, I guess we know that Chicago's been terrible for the past month and giving up more chances than anyone this side of the Anaheim Ducks. So,
yeah.
I mean, terrible defensively, I guess.
Right. I mean, it's hard not to love Boston, but I don't think they're a necessity if you're playing one lineup tonight. They're probably going to be the chalkiest. That being said, if they're your favorite spot and you can make it work with them and you get another stack or other skaters you really like and defensemen, like, don't fade them because of ownership at the same rate. So
for sure,
it's kind of the same story on these 12 gamers. No one really gets too highly owned where you're that worried about ownership, unless there's just a crazy obvious spot, and that only happens once in a while. Like this one, we've got like 5 or 6 spots where you could argue are like the number one spot on the night, I think. So,
yeah, I agree.
I always like slates like that. It's just a lot of games. So we're going to actually get into the games right now. If you guys have watched the last couple shows, I've been talking about this first anniversary that we're celebrating at Osmo.com. So February 13th, that's tomorrow, we're going to give away an all-access annual membership. That's a $700 value to one of you, hopefully, a loyal viewer of the YouTube channel. It could be any show. And what you have to do to get access to entries in this is to like this video, and then you're going to comment. So the comments changed every day. Today, the comment will be person who you think is going to get a hat trick. So once this video goes final, you'll refresh the page, and then you'll see the comment box on the bottom, and you'll just comment. What do you think? It's Ovechkin or Panarin, whoever you think is going to get a hat trick. Danton Heinen maybe for $3,900. You're going to do that, and that's how you gain entries into this contest, this giveaway that we're doing. So this will be announced tomorrow on the Live Before Lock show, I believe. Josh will be doing that, Josh Engelman. And then we'll also have a giveaway for the social media side. So go to Osmo_com Twitter, and you can find out more details about that. Just check out the pinned tweet. So pretty good deal. It's completely free to enter, and you got a shot at a free membership for a year at Osmo.com.
You can hang out with us in Slack chat.
Yeah, Slack's the best, as we've come to find out. So
Who's your pick? Who's your hat trick pick tonight?
Oh, for me? That's a good question. I think I really like Columbus 1.
Yeah.
So I'll say Atkinson actually.
Oh, I like
for
that.
7,200.
Like that.
Yeah, I just love targeting against the Caps these days. So
I'm gonna go off the board and say Zach Parise.
I like it. Yeah, that's he's had multiple games with 10 shots on goal, like, and he hasn't really had a big bust out game. Like he scores every once in a while, but he
10
looks
shots, no goals.
He looks really good actually. Just from watching a lot of Wild games, he looks. Really awesome.
We'll get into that one. I'm curious to know your thoughts on it, so we'll probably get to that in a little bit.
Sure. All right, let's get into these games now. We got 12, so this will take a while. We'll spend a little less time on the less interesting games, a little more time on the games we think there's more to talk about. Blackhawks and Bruins, 2.8 implied total for the Blackhawks, 3.7 for the Bruins. Colin Delia against probably going to be Tuukka Rask. No one confirmed just yet. Any news and notes here? Pastrnak.
I mean, the big news that we all know is that Pastrnak is out for the Bruins. They'd split up that line, the big three last game or last 2 games anyways, so Heinen was already up there. He's not getting a ton of ice time. He's only getting about 10 minutes per game, so it's but it's still the same there. And then DeBrusk moves up? Yeah, DeBrusk moves up to the second, and then Backes gets back in on Boston 3. I don't know who's going to take Pasternak's spot on that top power play unit. I would guess it's either Heinen or Krejci. I don't know what your thoughts are there, or if they put another defenseman on there.
It's gonna be Heinen, I think.
Heinen for sure.
I think that was the talk from some of the beat writers, but I'll try to confirm that. But yeah, that's how I'm treating it. That's what Daily Faceoff has as well. We know they're not always the most accurate on some of these, especially when you don't see anything on Twitter. But that's who I would think would be on it as well. I think he's played some on the top power play lately as well. So
nice.
Heinen is gold. Yeah, one of the best values in the night, I think. So I don't know. Boston 1, like I mentioned off the top of the show, probably going to be the highest owned stack of the night because especially if you've got Heinen with the power play 1 tag, then people aren't gonna, or they're going to be less inclined to leave him off, like you see with some of these third wheel guys. He is a pretty talented player, and then you're playing with Bergeron and Marchand. And then it's not like you can go down and play true Boston 1 with Pastrnak. So I think this is going to end up being the highest owned stack of the night. But that being said, I don't think they're going to get over like 15% in large field tournaments. So if you like them, don't worry about their ownership. I would say if you're playing large field tournaments like the $20 or something like that. What do you think, Nolan?
Yeah, I was surprised to hear you say that. I think you're probably right, though. If Heinen's getting buzz and he's on the power play 1, then that makes a lot of sense. So there's probably going to be some ownership there. I expected it to be more like 10, but 15 sounds probably closer to reality.
Yep. So that's really the only line I'm targeting in this game, especially on DK. So Boston 1, I'm just playing the chalk. I think they are one of the best top 5, very easily a top 5 option for me tonight. On a value basis, on a raw point basis. So there's just no other way around it. The Blackhawks give up a ton of quality chances. And, I'm eating the chalk here on Boston 1. And someone says Chicago 2. Liquid Demon says Chicago 2 in chat. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to fading Chicago over the next couple of weeks. I think that they're just way overachieving. And their numbers are supported by that. They're not generating chances at the rate that they're scoring. So this is a really obvious fade spot, I think, for Chicago. But in the future, when they're in some nice spots, I'm going to try and get off them if the ownership continues to go to them. They obviously had a great game last game, so you never know. But probably won't be owned as well because people don't like targeting Boston. But Krejci and Bergeron have both have put up solid defensive numbers this year. So I'm certainly not excited about rostering them.
Yep, I don't really like targeting Boston, especially when they're at home and Bergeron's healthy. I know they're probably not going to face a bunch of time against Bergeron, but still, like you mentioned, Krejci not too bad defensively, that line either. So Chicago's really a fade for me, especially on DK where I'm only playing 20. I didn't even think about them. They didn't come up in any of my crunches. It's really Boston 1 and then Krug if you're so inclined, or McAvoy if you want to pivot and maybe get a guy that's going to play more even strength. So. Anything else you got here, Nolan?
Not much. I don't mind like for punt D plays. I don't mind like Char or McAvoy. They're kind of cheap. They're sort of in that like high threes range. So, not terrible, but not a lot of punt D plays tonight. So,
Sure.
Might throw them in a couple. The great at Will Frostmo too.
EMAC in chat. It looks like trying to brush up on his NHL
Yeah.
knowledge.
We didn't even talk about this. The fact that we're going to have to make some money off these NBA guys coming up here.
Yeah, NBA All-Star break coming up. So there's going to be more money in the ecosystem, we'll say. So hopefully we see some bigger contests from DK and FanDuel and who knows, maybe Fantasy Draft, but doubt it. And then we can take advantage. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. We'll talk more about All-Star break once we get to Thursday and Friday slate, but yeah, go ahead, Nolan.
Hopefully they bring their strategy of just one-offs, just taking all these best one-offs, and we'll just correlate our lineups and win all the money. It'd be great.
Yeah, just like an NBA, like what some people do is just go in, press crunch on Cruncher, and export, and there you go. Throw that 150 into the tournaments, right?
I've certainly given my fair share to the NBA guys. So.
Oh yeah, I have too. So. In fairness, EMAC is a fish on any sport. Come on now. So, anything else in this game? We all good?
Nothing.
Cool. All right, let's go to the Islanders and the Buffalo Sabres. 2.8 implied total for the Islanders, 2.7 implied total for the Sabres. We've got Robin Lehner going up against Linus Ullmark. Any news and notes here or anything you like in this game?
So Middlestat is a game time decision for the Sabres. I don't know who would move into that second line role. Maybe Evan Rodriguez, and then they would shuffle things around a little bit. On the first power play unit, there was talk that Tage Thompson would get the spot. I would assume it would be Okposo, just because he's been up there before. But that's, I wasn't too keen on this line anyways. I don't think they're going to be very popular, quite obviously, going up against the Islanders. And then on the Islanders side, it's all the same stuff. Cal Clutterbuck moves back into the fourth line, his usual fourth line role. One of the better fourth lines in the NHL, but you probably don't need to go there tonight. And in case you missed it, Dalcol is up on Islanders 2, and Beauvillier is on Islanders 3.
Yep. So, if you, the noted Buffalo 2 lover, if you're going to be off Buffalo 2, then no one should be on them, right?
Where did I get this rep?
I don't know. I think Seth may have said it in chat, so I just tagged onto that. I didn't know if you were talking up Buffalo 2.
I think I recommended them like once or twice in short slates because they were cheap.
Yeah.
And could be paired with like Colorado 1.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to play bad, good teams, just play Ottawa every night, right? So
yeah.
We'll get to that a little bit later. But, I'm struggling to find anything I like. Like I've mentioned with these Islanders, they're not a great team to target against. When you watch them, it's frustrating. They do allow a lot of shots, but not a lot of very quality chances. You like Eichel and Skinner together. You don't really love Pominville on that line with them. He's not on the power play. Man, I'm really struggling. And on these big slates like this, I try to find stuff I like on these lower total games, just so I'm not like just going with the herd and just stacking all the 6.5, 6 total games. So I don't know. You got any stacks you're looking at? Any defensemen you're targeting heavily here?
No, I think this is a pretty defensive game here. I don't really have much of it. So, Islanders are struggling a little bit offensively. I just really not interested in it at all. I don't know that I'll have any, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not getting to any on DK. Like I mentioned, 20 lineups. I don't know how many you're doing tonight. I'm sure around there, right? Somewhere around 20. Yeah, so
the 20 max.
On DK, not getting there. But on FanDuel, I'm probably going to have some of this Nelson line, just because Buffalo's been pretty bad in their own end lately, as a filler more than anything. Full power play correlation. I don't know. Maybe that continues for Buffalo, but nothing on DK for me here.
Yeah, I agree. Their numbers aren't really, for the last 10 games, their numbers aren't really popping. Seems like Buffalo's been kind of, you said they've been bad in their own end?
Yeah, I mean, just like results wise. Their like scoring chances against, high danger chances against aren't that terrible, but they've had a couple of these games, like big blow up games, where they just look awful. I don't know if the Islanders are a team that's going to make you have a big blowout game. a blow up game
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, it's probably just Islanders 1 on FanDuel. But anything interesting in chat? Pulak been hot lately. Yeah, Pulak
Yeah,
made me
he
some
won you
money.
all the money. Hey,
Yeah,
congrats, by the way. That was
yeah,
a good
yeah.
win.
Thanks. Yeah, he won me the money on the Saturday early slate. So that was fun. 2 goals from your defenseman. Anytime you can donk that, you got to.
Yeah. That was a smart play. He was only like 3% owned. Everyone kind of forgot about him.
Yeah, there were a lot of good defensemen on that slate, so I just ended up with a little bit of Pulak and found the right combo there.
Nice.
All right, next game we've got another 5.5 implied total game. The Stars and the Panthers. Anton Khudobin going up against Roberto Luongo. Looks like some new lines here for Dallas. Anything else here?
New lines for Florida, too. So Florida has Mike Hoffman up on the top line with Barkov and Dadonov. And then on the so I guess that means that Brassard's going down to the third line, I think. Yeah, with Borgstrom and Malgin. And then on the Dallas side, yeah, we have Rupe Hintz on the top line. Janmark is down on the fourth line, and Dickinson centering the second line with Ben there. So looks like we've got everything up to date here. I noticed as well that Dallas went back to the usual big 3. I forgot to check on Shift Chart if it was just during the third period, but last game they had a fairly high ice time share.
I was just checking that right now.
They were at about 20% or something, 12%, somewhere in there. So they clearly got some time together. So we haven't seen that in a while. Could be a pivot for large GPPs if you wanted to do that, but I'm just kind of sick of Dallas. And then I kind of like Florida 1, but Dallas is playing some pretty defensive hockey lately. So I don't know what's your take.
Yeah, so I don't really like targeting against Dallas all that much. Like the Barkov, Dadonov, Hoffman line should be good, but I just don't know who they're gonna really go up against. They could go up against Ben. They could go up against Sagan, Radulov. I would guess they're going up against Sagan and Radulov. So I don't. There's just a lot of kind of unknowns here for me. The Barkov line also hasn't been very good, just numbers wise. If you like the fancy numbers, and I certainly do. And then Sagan, Radulov. There's just no way they're not going to end up with Ben at some point this game. And so it's like, okay, well, you can play Dallas 1, true Dallas 1 with Sagan, Ben, and Radulov. Ben's pretty cheap because he's been playing on the second line, or at least listed there. But, like, on a big slate like this, there's so many other good lines, like lines that are, first of all, at home, like you know who they're going to match up against. You know that they have a good even strength matchup. You know that they're going to stick together basically the whole game unless an injury happens. And I just, like, they just don't really check a lot of those boxes for me. So, like, I kind of want to avoid Rupe Hintz. I think I don't want any part of that, especially for the 20 lineups. And then I might just make the manual adjustment on Cruncher and just put Ben on the top line with Sagan and Radulov. Just, like, play the 3 best forwards and just hope they get together after the first period and go off.
Yeah. I like that as a pivot. Heinz was like 20% owned last time he was up there. I don't think that'll be anywhere close this time. But just a weird one. Like Dallas is like top 5 in chances allowed, high danger chances allowed in the road over the past 10, and not much worse at home. So I don't know how that's happening. I guess like I kind of perceive them as, I kind of thought they would be a more wide open team this year with Montgomery in place of Hitchcock, but they're not. And I guess like it makes sense on some level. They do have some pretty strong defensemen when you think about it, but it's just their sort of lack of any talent up front other than those 3 players that sort of puts me off them.
Yeah, so I don't know. This one is just kind of another avoid for me. If I do,
and the total's pretty low.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I feel like I'm just like breaking my rule. I'm trying to find something, and it probably would be Sagan, Ben, and Radulov, but not getting there on DK. And then if I do, it's by making that manual adjustment on Fantasy Cruncher and just playing the 3 best forwards for Dallas here. So
I think I'll probably pop in 1 or 2 Florida lineups just because now we've got the full power play correlation, and maybe that's an upgrade for them. But you said their numbers haven't been great.
No, Barkov and Dadonov just haven't been great. I don't know what's going on. They were awesome last year. So I don't know if someone's hurt or what's going on or just regression, but
just a weird year for them.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. They're right where they're always at, like a few points out of the playoff spot. So
exactly.
They just keep ending up in the same spot year after year. It seems like. You got any defensemen here?
Ekblad's been like rating out pretty well. He's pretty cheap. I think still, what is he, 45? He's getting priced up a little bit, so probably Ekblad would be my favorite one-off. Heiskanen also rates out pretty well for Osmo, but where is he? Yeah, BA. So there's another guy that I would punt with in that range, but nothing super exciting here.
Yep, I don't really have much either. I think I agree on the Ekblad call for Osmo more than the Heiskanen one, but that's just me. Let's go to a more interesting game here. We've got the Capitals and the Columbus Blue Jackets. 3 implied total for the Caps, 3.5 for the Blue Jackets. Braden Holtby going up against Sergei Bobrovsky. Caps on the back-to-back after hanging 6 on the Kings. They did allow 4, though, so you guys probably know where I'm going with this one. Do we have any significant changes in this game, Nolan?
Don't think we do. No.
I didn't see any either. So,
yeah.
As it's been with any Caps games for me lately, I look at the Caps. I do like Kuznetsov and Ovechkin and Wilson together, but I think there's a bunch of other lines I like better in that range, and I think they're going to be pretty heavily owned just from recency bias last night. Maybe they won people some money. They're 1,000,000% owned, but still, people care about that. I'm just all over Columbus, the top 6 here. Dubois, Panarin, Atkinson, I wrote them up. I think they're going to be pretty chalky, maybe not to the Boston one extent, but they're probably my favorite stack on the night. And then I really love the Jenner, Anderson, Foligno line as well.
Yeah.
So,
that line is way too cheap, and they got a ton of ice time last game. Foligno had 23 minutes. The other 2 were over 20 minutes. They led the team in ice time in terms of 5-on-5. So I don't know how popular they're going to be. I'm thinking they're going to be popular, probably the most popular filler stack of the night, maybe. But worth it, I think. They're just too cheap, too talented, solid numbers going up against Washington, who's allowing the most scoring chances in the NHL on the road over the past 10 games. It's a smashed spot for them with Washington on back-to-backs. I don't know what point their ownership would be too high to take, but I will have some shares for sure.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a bunch of spots we're going to talk about that could be considered the top spot. I think Columbus one is in that conversation, so I'm just kind of picking a few and going overweight on them, and that's certainly going to be one of them. So, I think they've got a case as the best option on the night. So they would be in contention for one lineup for me. So nothing's changed since this morning. Any upside with Columbus 3? I like Duclair and Bjorkstrand together. You just never know if this bottom 6 is going to stay together.
You never know if Duclair is going to get benched.
It's just, or, play 40 seconds. I don't know. He's just constantly in the doghouse. Bjorkstrand, same thing. He's been a healthy scratch at times. It's just a lot of uncertainty with Columbus in general, but we've seen this Jenner line stick together when they've all been healthy, and then we've seen, for the most part, the Dubois, Atkinson, Panarin line stick together. So it might be a little bit too cute to go down to the third line, even though they are dirt cheap.
Yeah, I think they were all under 10 minutes last game, so something to consider. Yeah. They just seem to be riding these top 2 lines right now, so I think they're probably just better plays. Bjorkstrand had 7 minutes against the Knights.
Right. You just never know. You just never know with this line. So,
I mean, they're nice. They're like, I get the logic that would lead you to that. They're not going to be well owned, but I mean, it's a little bit too risky for me.
I agree. There's just 2 better plays on the same team, so just play the better players, play the better skaters on a team you really like. So that would be the top 6 for me. You've got quite the price difference between Jones and Werenski here, and then Jones is listed on the second power play. $1,600 difference. I'm assuming Werenski's going to get quite a bit of steam here, but he doesn't grade out
Yeah.
that well for me, even at 4,200. I don't know why.
That's surprising. Like, he's my favorite cheap defenseman on the slate by far, I think.
Yeah.
Power play one time, 25 minutes, up against the Capitals. Yeah, I like him a lot. I mean, Seth Jones is going to be probably far less popular just because of that price point, but I will happily have as much Werenski as I can fit in tonight, and I'm not going to worry too much about ownership because there are just so few other spots to go in this price range. 25 minutes a game, 22, 26, 22. So you're guaranteed some minutes. He's probably got a pretty nice floor. Power play one time.
Yeah, I should get more of him. I should. I don't know. Maybe my projection's just wrong for him. So I'm gonna look into Werenski after the slate once I update stuff, or after the show's over. And then Carlson, 6,300. Like, I think it's an okay spot for him. I'm just playing other guys around his range, Giordano and Yossi especially. So probably not gonna get to too much Carlson. All right, ready to move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, the Carolina Hurricanes and the Ottawa Senators. We've got a 3.3 implied total for the Hurricanes, 2.9 for the Sens. Could be Peter Mrazek going up against confirmed Anders Nilsson, the GOAT as of late. This guy's just stopping everything, seeing 1 million shots per game. First of all, any line changes here?
Hang on, just let me pull her up. I don't think so. The only thing is that Ferland's listed as day-to-day for Carolina. I don't think he's listed that way on DraftKings, but it's just because he missed a practice yesterday, so I'm expecting him to play. Didn't notice anything for Ottawa.
Okay.
Did you? I don't think. Yeah.
I didn't notice anything for Ottawa. They've had a little bit of a hot stretch here. They've won 2 straight, so
yeah, playing a little bit better defensively than they were at the start of the season. Just one note on Ottawa: we're back to like anytime you roster Ottawa too, it's like they're always one of the best values on the slate, and their numbers are amazing. But sometimes they just don't get a lot of ice time together, and that was the case last game too, where I think they were under 14 or 12% or something like that. Yeah, Boucher likes to break them up. I don't know why, but
he likes to shuffle around White and Tierney, right?
Yeah, that's right. Tierney had some time with both those wingers last game, Stone and Tkachuk. But yeah, like both Stone and Tkachuk are top 10 or 15 in the NHL in chances for and high danger chances for over the past 10 games, and not that far off for the whole season. Like their underlying numbers are fantastic.
Yeah. So you kind of hit it there. I like Tkachuk and Stone especially. There's a little bit of uncertainty with White Tierney thing. I'm just going to play White. He's listed on the power play with Tkachuk and Stone, so even if he maybe like doesn't play the whole game with them, he can still get you a point or two. And really, he's not the one you're relying on to score the goals anyways. It's Stone and Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Mostly Stone. So.
And he's super cheap. So.
Yeah, right. So you mentioned Ottawa also is playing better defensively. I definitely agree with that. They are. It's not just like an auto stack against them at this point. They've got this good shutdown line. This line that's been pretty good. Smith,
the Pajot line?
and Payarvi, and they've been just hammering them against opposing top lines. They did an okay job against Winnipeg. If you look at just like surface numbers, like I don't know if Winnipeg won had any points. Nilsson has been good. They've been getting bailed out. They've given up a ton of shots these last couple of games that they've won. And I just think that the Aho line is going to generate just a ton of shots and scoring chances here, even against this Pajot, Payarvi, Zach Smith line. So I'm all over Carolina 1 is the moral of the story here. I think they're a little bit underpriced for how well they've been playing, and just not worried about this Ottawa 3 line shutting them down. They've just like 85 Corsi 4 per 60. They've just generated so much, and people really aren't playing them, I don't think, as much as they should.
That's nuts. I mean, people do like to target the Senators, but they also are probably not targeting Carolina as much, and they're on the road. So, and there are so many other stacks in that price range that are will be more appealing on a surface level. So I wouldn't expect them to garner too much ownership tonight.
And the thing I like about them as well is if you use their like what a lot of projection systems do is they'll use the player projections on an individual level for like the entire season, or maybe even including the season before in some way. And if you do that with this line, they're just not going to grade out as a good value. Like you see Niederreiter and Aho both with C values on Osmo's grades. Yeah, Aho might be a little overpriced, but like Niederreiter's just been a different player since he's come over and played with this line, played with these two guys. Full power play correlation. Ottawa has one of the worst kills. They take a bunch of penalties. Yeah, I absolutely love Carolina 1 here. Love the numbers, and I think they're going to be decently low owned, even for a 12-game slate.
Yeah, I agree. You going to go with some Ottawa 2 as well?
Yep, Ottawa 2. I like them as a filler.
Yeah.
So hopefully White sticks there for the most part. Yeah, their numbers are stupid good, Lot says. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great. How about your boy Chabot?
I do like him more on FanDuel. I think he's 5,300, so I'm playing more on FanDuel tonight just because they've got a 150 at the $4 price range. I did end up, let me see. I ended up with some of him on DK. Nothing's final just yet, but on the last crunch, yeah, I ended up with 4 out of 20 for Chabot, so that'd be 20%. And I'm comfortable with that. I think that's probably going to be over the field. He hasn't been getting as many minutes or shooting as much, but I still think he's an okay play for 6,200.
Yeah, I agree. Dougie Hamilton?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's an awesome one-off play, I think. Points grade, A value. He's shooting as much as anyone outside of, I think, Burns and Giordano over the last 10 games. Like just attempting way more shots, playing more minutes, probably playing more confidently because he's racking up some points as well. And you can play him, I think, even with Carolina 1, even though they're not on the power play together. So
yeah, so he gets about 8 to 10 minutes with them a game usually. Like Falk gets more time and probably has like a better chance of scoring a goal, but Hamilton's just got a higher floor and like I don't know, more assist equity and yeah, just generally a better
player. Yeah.
Yeah, better player.
Yeah, if Hamilton was somehow, we knew he was going to be on power play 1, he would be one of the better values of the night, but just not there yet. So
the only thing is he's going to be chalky, I think, on DK, especially in that $4.
You think?
Yeah, just because Ottawa gives up the most fantasy points to opposing defensemen.
They've got the green next to it. Yeah, that makes sense.
I would expect him to be like, maybe not chalky, but probably like 15.
Sure. Anything else here? Like any of these other
guys? I like Nilsson as a punt goalie. I always like targeting the Hurricanes. I think you've probably heard me say that and write that up before, but I mean, there's no secret that they give up the most points to goalies. We say it every time, or second most now, I guess. They've gone down a little bit, but they get a lot of shots, and anytime you get a goalie facing a lot of shots, it's not bad.
Right. Yep, you nailed it. I like Carolina here.
It's real insight there.
No, I like Carolina. You know, if they only limit Carolina to 2 goals here, Nilsson's probably going to be okay. And if he gets the win, he's going to pay off in a big way, like you've seen in his last 2 games. You see goalies go through hot stretches. He looks locked in, and B value on Osmos grades. It's a winnable game for Ottawa. They're playing well. You're just going to get peppered once again. And this is just the classic Carolina spot, right, where they put up 50 shots on goal and score once. So
yeah, exactly.
You should have Nilsson exposure if you're MMEing tonight. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah.
All right. Flames and the Lightning. We have a 3.1 implied total here for the Flames, 3.6 for the Lightning. David Rittich going up against Andrei Vasilevsky. Line changes here. Do Tampa?
Yeah, so Palat is out tonight. Gord moves up to the top line with Point and Kucherov. JT Miller is going to skate with Johnson and Stamkos, and Miller is also on the power play 1. Adam Ernie moves on to JT Miller's role on the third line, and Eric Chernak is out. He always grades out as a really good value. So Dan Girardi is going to play for the Lightning, and then nothing for the Flames, I think.
Cool. Yeah, Flames usually keep it status quo.
Unless it's like for a leak or something.
Yep. All right, so the thing we were trying to figure out earlier today was the line matching. They've been going Tampa 3 against Monahan, Gaudreau, or I'm sorry, Tampa 3 against opposing top lines when they've been at home the last few games. And now you've got Point, Kucherov, and Yanni Gourde together.
Yeah.
Steve Homercles thinks that's going to be Point versus Calgary 1 here, and that would make sense just for ice time reasons. You don't want to give Tampa 3 too much ice time here and kind of take it away from your top 6. That's awesome. So I think he's probably right on that. Some other people in chat were agreeing, so I think that's kind of the conclusion we've come to. And I think that puts both lines in play for each team's top line, and that makes me not really like the Stamkos line. So what do you see here?
So that's the Backlund line would be going up against the Stamkos line.
He'd be seeing 2 and 3, and then maybe some 4.
I don't know. Does it really does it matter as much as we think it does? Like this year, they just haven't been as good defensively. Calgary too. So I just haven't worried as much. They're still giving up 11 high danger chances per 60 and 25 scoring chances per 60. It's not like they're the shutdown line that they were last year. So I'm not super worried about it. I know that for Osmo, Tampa 1 grades out really well, and they're not unreasonably priced. So, and I'm not sure that they'll be very popular. So I kind of like Tampa 1, and I'm probably going to fade Tampa 2.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, their prices, they're not that close because you've got the cheap JT Miller, and then Johnson is significantly cheaper than Kucherov. But I think it's close enough where, honestly, where I'm trying to get down to 20 lineups, on DK especially, if I'm going to one of these lines that is the Point Kucherov line, I just like that combo better. They're both huge parts of the power play. I don't know. JT Miller might be more of a passenger there on the power play than anything. And I think that shiny PP1 tag might get some people on him.
That's true. He's not is he like a net presence like Killorn? Is that how they'd use him, or would they? Because you never know with Killorn, right? He might pop into 1-foot goals. That's kind of like the appeal of that guy. But
yeah, I don't know. He might be used like Palat. I don't know, but he is 3,600, so I'm not trying to say he's a bad player or anything. I just think he might be a little bit over-owned. And, Backlund, that line hasn't been great, but you'd still rather not see Backlund than, you'd still rather see the Monahan line than the Backlund line, I think. At least I would. So they're going to see more time against them if we're right about the line matching. And so I'd rather just take these 2 teams' best lines here. So.
Yeah, I agree. So is that if you think that Tampa 3 is going to go up against some would are you going to see an uptick in ice time for Tampa 3? Do you think, or?
No, I don't think an uptick. They'll probably see 2 and 3. So both Stamkos and the Cirelli line will see Calgary 2 and Calgary 3. So.
Yeah. Tyler Johnson just hasn't been that great this year. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he hasn't been really getting in on the scoring when he's been with Point and Kucherov. I don't know. He's had a couple big games maybe at the beginning of the season, but haven't heard much from him lately. And I guess I'm a Tampa hater. They just never grade out well for me. So
they, I can't get them right. I mean, it sounds stupid because that Kucherov line was so hot for so long, but I feel like I always pick the wrong line.
I feel like I've lost a lot of money on them. So
yeah.
I always hate Tampa for DFS. Yeah, I hate good teams. Yeah, I want to play the Ducks and the Sens. So that's probably why I don't get as much Tampa. I got to sneak in those bad good teams.
Yeah. All right, let's get to you got anything for goalies here?
Nothing for goalie that I really want to talk about, but Giordano, I think
Giordano,
is a really awesome play. Yeah, one off.
He rates out really well in your ranks, eh?
Yep, always. Just shot attempts wise, I think there are going to be quite a few scoring chances to go around here. And then he's probably going to play a lot with the Monahan, Gaudreau, Lindholm line. So I was talking about just being correlated to good players, even when you're one-offing defensemen. So really, really love Giordano here.
Probably 25 to 28 minutes, I would guess. 27 last game. He won't be owned as well, so I think that's probably a pretty smart GPP play.
Yep, I like it. All right, let's move it on here. We've got
let's get to the best game of the night.
Yeah, Devils and the St. Louis Blues, 2 teams going in complete opposite directions. 2.3 implied total for the Devils, 3.3 for the Blues. Kincaid against Binnington, and no line changes here? Question mark.
I don't think so. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's all the
Okay.
same for both teams.
All right, cool. So St. Louis won. If you guys read my article this morning, just
Maybe
playing
close.
as much St. Louis won uh, as my limits will let me. So just another team, another line with insane numbers. Tarasenko, yeah, he's in fuego. Steven says in chat. That is
Hmm.
correct. Coming off a hat trick. Shen is too cheap. Shen is also on
Yeah,
the top power play as well.
yeah,
Um, I just don't see anything that I want to avoid here in this matchup. So I don't know where
yeah.
they're going to come in as, if they come in as the second highest owned stack, I wouldn't be shocked. They could come in as the seventh highest owned stack. I wouldn't be shocked. But regardless, I'm going to be over the field on them pretty easily. So
Sorry, I missed that. The Devils do have a new third line. It's Zach Agostino. They just picked up on waivers, and Joey Anderson. Not that that should tip the needle for you, but just to be aware of it. And then Severson's been back on the power play one. Butcher was on there for a bit. They seem to be alternating them. So, not that it's a very appealing situation for anything New Jersey. Yeah, I like. We missed the Tarasenko huge game. I'm always choked when I'm like riding a guy for months waiting for that big game, and then like that big game comes on like
yep.
at like 9 a.m. on a Sunday when
Yeah,
DK has a 40-person showdown slate.
right. Yeah, that's annoying.
Ridiculous.
Uh,
But at least his price didn't go up too much. So
and maybe people weren't paying attention. So
yeah, that's the other hope, right? It's kind of like maybe it flies under the radar. I don't know. What do you think the ownership's going to be like for this line tonight?
like I said, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if they come in as the second highest owned line behind Boston.
Damn.
I wouldn't be shocked if they come in at 6%. Like
Yeah.
there's just a bunch of top lines all at home that are very good, and they're just checking all the boxes. And St. Louis won. They might be high because you see a decent total for them,
Hmm.
but I don't think
I
it's going
think
to be high enough. If that makes
people
sense.
also love to, if they're not correlating, they love to just play Tarasenko,
Sure.
especially with that price for Ryan O'Reilly. So I think what you probably see is like Tarasenko at like 14%,
Yeah.
and then like maybe O'Reilly at like 10, and then Shen down at like 8 or something. So there could be an advantage to correlating here as well, especially because Shen hasn't really, although he's been putting up great numbers with that line, he hasn't really been seeing it as much on the score sheet as evidenced by his price. But yeah, so I like just the full stack here you might get at lower ownership than say like Tarasenko himself.
Yep. Yeah, New Jersey's just not very good. So
Yeah, they've been
I just-
terrible over the last 10 games. I think you noted that in your article, like not getting chances, giving up a lot of chances, bad goaltending, like everything is pointing to the Blues tonight. And if you're playing cash, like just pop Binnington in. Don't overthink it.
Yep. They'll be up there, top 5 owned, anyways. Yeah, I mean, if they're top 5 owned, the top the fifth owned stack might be 10% or less.
Yeah,
Like, it might
it's
be
so
8%.
it's going to be
It's
so
just
spread out tonight.
Yeah. So I'm just not really concerned about it.
Winnipeg at home is going to garner a lot.
Yep. They might be the highest owned. Like they might be coming higher than Boston, I think. But
Yeah, I think they'll be number one.
all right. I do like St. Louis too a little bit on DK.
That's
On
a nice
FanDuel-
pivot.
On FanDuel, they're not really as appealing. They're just dirt cheap. They've got also good numbers, and then
Yeah.
Schwartz and Bozak playing the power play together.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near as fun as playing St. Louis 1, but you could see them doing some damage at even strength here against this bad Devils team.
I like that a lot. Yeah, and it's going to be like that's a great line to pair with your expensive
Mhm.
stack, and they're going to be like 2% owned if you're lucky. So
Yep.
also, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I just saw like Jason Schwartz on Boston, and I thought they screwed up the spelling of
Oh.
Jaden Schwartz's name. Yeah,
All right. Let's.
Binnington, you in on that?
Yeah, I'm in on Bennington. I'm not as concerned with goalie chalk on a 12-game slate.
How about Peter Angelo?
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. Parayko and Dunn. It's very clearly Parayko for me. I just don't know that I'm in love with that price. I'm trying to get up to the, $5,800 to $6,500 price tag, and it's tough to fit two of those guys in, or one of those guys with Parayko in. So I'm not getting to a ton of him. All right. That looks like it's about it for that game. How many more do we have? Let's see, like 4 or 5?
5.
All right, let's do it. Let's do
Yes,
Red
yeah.
Wings and the Predators. We've got a 2.3 implied total for the Red Wings, 3.3 for the Preds. Jimmy Howard, Pekka Rinne, and looks like things are mostly staying the same. Maybe some changes on this middle six for Nashville.
Yeah, just Bonino is up with Smith and Fiala, and then Turris moves down to the third line, and then power play specialist Brian Boyle is just probably going to get 20 minutes tonight. And yeah, like Nashville won, pretty smash spot. 2 and 3 just weren't getting a lot of ice time recently, and then Detroit, Larkin's back. I think he was back last game, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So same lines, same standard lines for them. Power play, two great power play options here with Nicholas Kronwall and Boyle. So,
yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm joking. I don't know what you think about this, but Nashville won, pretty good spot here. Maybe going to go a little bit overlooked.
I mean, one of these lines has to, right? So
yeah.
On DK, like they're not grading out as the best value for me. So yeah. I've got like St. Louis 1 as a similar. At a similar raw point projection, but they're obviously less. You can do more with them, and the pricing's a little bit tighter on DK in general. So I'm not getting to as much Nashville 1 on DraftKings. I'm getting to more of them on FanDuel. But yeah, they're like, if this is your favorite stack too, like there's a case to be made for them as the #1 stack. In fact, a really good one. Like Detroit commits a ton of penalties. Nashville's power play hasn't been that strong, but you still, like, you've got very good players in this power play. Quarterbacked by Yossi, like this shouldn't be struggling as much as it has been for the duration of the season. It's an okay price for them, and they're probably going to see a ton of ice time against Larkin, which isn't the greatest matchup. But when you've got numbers like Nashville 1 does, like I'm willing to bend the rules for them. So
yeah.
I don't know. Where are you at?
Yeah. No, I think I'm going to have some, maybe just try to get in at weight, maybe a little overweight. And then I like Yossi a lot, so I'm probably going to have quite a lot of him. What's your Yossi take too?
Yeah. So on DK, he's going to be my highest exposed guy, or top 2 with Giordano. On FanDuel, it's a little bit tougher because Giordano, I think, is $6,900. He's $900 less, I think. Gio's like $6K, Yossi's $6,900. So he's going to be a top 2 or 3 guy for me on both sites. So just love him. Like I mentioned, Detroit, not very good on the PK. They take a bunch of penalties. They're at home, or they're on the road here. Just should be a spot where Nashville scores 4 or 5, I think.
Yeah. So. I like it.
Giordano Love and Tampa Bay. That's interesting. I mean, it's just a projections thing. I don't have Tampa as being that bad of a matchup. So, if you like Gio, though, go with Gio. I think either of those 2 guys are awesome. Yeah. Anything on the Detroit side?
Yossi correlates pretty well with that Yossi Ellis pairing. 13-14 minutes with the top line last game against St. Louis. So, that looks like they went more with a Ekholm Subban with that second line.
Was that at home?
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, Yossi. I mean, Yossi's clearly the guy with Nashville 1, but that just sort of drives it home that he's going to play a lot with them at even strength as well. What about the second line for Nashville? You like them at all?
Yeah. I just don't know what to do with it because, like, Bonino is generally their shutdown guy, and he's usually getting just a ton of defensive first ice time. But maybe they're switching those roles a bit because you're probably not going to deploy Smith and Fiala in a defensive role, right? Like, that's your secondary scoring. So perhaps they're going to switch out Bonino and make Turris kind of lead that sort of third checking line, and then Bonino would get an uptick. So if that's the case, then I do like that line as a nice secondary filler stack.
Yeah, I think secondary filler, nothing more than that. It's an okay price. You'd like Fiala to get some power play time here. It was a little more appealing too when they had Smith on that top unit. Got to jam in Brian Boyle. So
I still like, it's cheaper, but I still prefer like going to like Columbus 2, for example. Or
I agree.
So
just you've seen
it's actually almost the same price. So I just take Columbus 2. They're going to get more ice time. Like these lines for Nashville haven't been getting a ton of ice time lately. So I guess Bonino gets a lot, but these other guys are like at like 15 minutes, 12. Fiala's 12 minutes. So I'll take Columbus 2 at 20 minutes a game, and over these guys at 12.
All right, let's go to the next game if you're ready to move on.
Yeah.
Flyers Wild. We've got a 2.7 implied total for the Flyers, 3.3 for the Wild. Anthony Stolarz against Devin Dubnyk. I don't know if we've had you on since these new Wild line changes, but
No, I don't think so. But intrigued about this game because I kind of want to play Minnesota here. They grade out really well for Osimo. The Granlund Coyle Parise line is averaging 16 or something. High danger 14, high danger chances 4 since they've been put together. So a question for you is like, how do you think this goes? Like, is it going to be? Will they try and get the Granlund line away from Couturier? Will they match up like is it just going to be like kind of do they tend to match at home or
they do? Well, it's tough to say without Koivu.
Yeah.
So they had one game without Koivu, or maybe it was the one he got hurt, and the Eriksson Ek line went up against opposing top competition. I think it was against McDavid. So they saw the most time, which is super weird. I mean, it somewhat makes sense with Foligno there. I don't know what they think of Cunnin, but he's not really a shutdown guy. So, man, I would not really worry about it just yet for this game. I think you've got an okay top 6 still for the Wild. I definitely lean to the Granlund line with Parise and Coyle.
Yeah. One quick note as well. Just Konechny was benched during the third last game. He got under 10 minutes, and the Flyers went with Giroux, Voracek, and Couturier, with Giroux on the wing there. So that was interesting. They got like a 20% ice time share against the Penguins last game. I don't know if that was like a we're down in the third kind of a thing. Let's put our best players together. So we could see that again. I would just expect them to go back to their normal lines, but definitely keep an eye on that for line rushes there.
Yeah. That is a good note to look at for line rushes. I'm just not really playing Philadelphia tonight. Even on FanDuel when I'm playing 150, it's just not going to be much of anything for them.
How about the Wild double stack?
The double stack? Like the Josh stack? The 6-man?
Yeah.
I mean, you could. I don't know that you have to do that on a 12-gamer. I don't see it as being like that big of a crush spot for Minnesota.
That way you don't have to choose between what line you're going to get right.
Yeah, right. Has anybody gotten Minnesota right this year?
Oh, God, it's just awful. I stopped playing them, and every time I get sucked in, I was going to have none of this game, and then these grades came out, and it's like, yeah, wait, this makes a lot of sense with Philly on back-to-back, Stolarz in net, traveling, big divisional game last night. Like, a lot of narratives are in favor of the Wild here, I think, tonight.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to look it up quick, but I think Philadelphia has been pretty bad over their last 10. So 10 is kind of an arbitrary number.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it is. But like they haven't been as good as their record indicates.
Yep. That's the thing. And I think Minnesota's just kind of constantly underachieved. And
so and the other thing I like about these lines is that they're too expensive to be filler stacks, and they're not priced up as a top line. So they're kind of in this like gray area, and I think like as such they probably won't garner a lot of ownership. But that's just like I think they're going to fly under the radar, maybe like 5-7%.
Oh yeah, I think they might even be less than that.
Yeah,
especially the Stahl-Zucker Greenway line. I don't know. Like Greenway has looked better as well, and playing on the power play now with no Koivu. Like you can make a case for either of these lines, but I'm going with the more expensive one here. And yeah, that's really about it. I like the Granlund-Parise combo. Coyle's been playing actually really well these last.
That's the thing. You gotta like Coyle. Like Greenway's cheaper, but you gotta like Coyle on that line. That's kind of like an upgrade for me for that whole line. And then like on the back end, I kind of like Sutter as a safe play. Going to get 27 minutes, power play one time. It's probably going to get you like 3 to 11, 3 points on DK, 11 on FanDuel minimum, and then like anything else is highly possible. He probably doesn't have that huge GPP winning upside, maybe. I don't know, but he's priced so cheaply.
Yeah, and I think it's more likely we see the Suter Spurgeon combo go with Granlund, Parise, and Coyle. So I really like value with that line if you're doing a 4-man. And you can play either one of them because you got Coyle with Spurgeon and then Suter and Granlund Parise on the top unit. So they're just going to play a million minutes, Suter and Spurgeon. Like they're just going to play so many minutes to close out the season as they're without Koivu and Dumba.
If Spurgeon's still available in your season longs, go get him.
Sure. There you go. There's your one season long thing from the Osmo.com NHL Hit the Ice show.
Right?
For the
Oh yeah, you
entire
could
year.
talk about season long all day, any day, all day, every day.
I've never played NHL season long, so
It's the
I'm gonna
best. We're
keep it
gonna
that
get a
way.
league together next year.
Oh, I'll forget to set my lineup.
Making you. Should we
Um,
hustle here, Dubnik?
yeah, he's okay. 7,800.
Yeah.
I don't have him seeing like a ton of volume, so
Volume. Yeah.
I think Minnesota should win this game. I've been wronging them a lot. I get it. Like, I don't think you're gonna miss out on, not playing Dubnik, but Osmo does have him as a B value. I would have him as a decent value as well.
Dubnik shutout. You heard it here first.
Well, yeah, if he does that, then he could break the slate. But short of that, I don't see Philadelphia generating a ton in Minnesota.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think Binnington's the superior play, but I'll have some Dubnik for sure.
All right, let's do Rangers and the Jets. We got a 2.8 implied total for the Rangers, 3.7 for the Jets, and maybe possibly your favorite line on the night, Lundqvist, Hellebuck. What are you seeing here?
Yeah, so I guess like Winnipeg one, I think will probably be like I think they're going to be the most owned, or I thought that anyways going into that before the Boston talk. So maybe Boston and Winnipeg one, but Boston or Winnipeg has the crazy home road splits. They've been bad lately, so the price is a little bit lower. Rangers still giving them a ton of chance. Bad PK. Everything's setting up for Winnipeg one here. Bufflin as well, I like. And then on the Rangers side, I don't really like a lot, but I think that's a nice contrarian play going with the Rangers one. And then Winnipeg two, just not getting enough ice time these days. So I don't know. Like I don't know what to do. Like if you want to be on the like line A breakout game at one early, probably not a bad idea just to throw them in a lineup or two. But yeah, I'll have some Winnipeg one here.
Yeah, I think on DK it's Winnipeg 1 or nothing for me, where I'm playing just 20. And it's probably going to be nothing. I do like the Bergeron line better. I like Dubois, Atkinson, Panarin. I like Carolina 1 and O'Reilly, and I think all those lines are cheaper than them. So I'm just taking the value. I think, like, raw points-wise, they grade out as a top 2 or 3 stack for me. I just don't like the way the lineups construct as well with Winnipeg 1. They're also not going to get that great of a matchup against the Zibanejad line. So that's kind of the tiebreaker. Hope they don't bury me tonight, but let's see. I don't even know what I have for them on FanDuel. I don't think I've got more than like 10% on FanDuel, so probably going to be underweight. Yes, Bufflin would be the guy I would one off in this game, if anyone.
Yeah, I like him.
You can play him with Winnipeg 1, obviously, but one-off guy. He's probably in that next tier behind Giordano and who's the other guy I was just talking about? Yossi. Yep. So he's right behind me for those two guys.
If Winnipeg doesn't smash tonight, I think like just keep an eye on them for their schedule. I think they're going to smash soon.
Yeah, they should. I mean, Bufflin back is huge.
It's only a matter of time.
Do you like anything else on either side? You mentioned Winnipeg too.
I'll stack Hellebuck if he's playing.
Yeah, man, he's been so inconsistent. But I just said I wanted to play Dubnik too, that I was having some Dubnik. So, I guess kind of hypocritical there, I suppose, because he's been super inconsistent. I'm not really on any of these depth lines. So, let's move it on. Let's go to the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Colorado Avalanche. We've got Frederik Andersen, Semyon Varlamov, 3.5 implied total for the Leafs, 3.1 for the Avs. Any changes here?
Doesn't look like any changes. Just that Yost was called back up by Colorado, and they've been trying him out at center in the minors. So if he goes tonight, it would be at center, and I think it would probably be in the fourth line. And Colin Wilson is on the power play 1. So JT Compher was there before. They're kind of like mixing and matching right now. Toronto lines are the same. Intriguing game here. I think that Toronto is kind of a sneaky play. They've been generating a lot of chances. On the road. Probably not going to get much ownership because it's sort of the first game of West Coast swing, later time zone. Just generally road teams don't get as much, and there's so many other lines. So the Matthews line or the Tavares line are interesting as pivots and GPPs from some of these other ones because Colorado hasn't been great defensively, and I think they're pretty bad on the kill as well. And then Colorado won 41% ice time share 5-on-5 last game. Like they just continue to get all of that ice time. So I always have no problem going with them. This could be a sneaky shootout game.
Yeah, so like I mentioned with Winnipeg 1, I don't love the way that my lineups look with Colorado 1. So that's why I'm not
Yeah.
getting to like, 30-40% of Colorado 1 on DK.
Yeah.
I do have more Colorado 1 than Winnipeg 1, I will say, on DK. So like if I'm going up in the 20 plus K price range, it's probably either going to be Nashville 1 or Colorado 1 on DK. On FanDuel, it's a completely different story. Just hammering Colorado 1 over there. I think they're way underpriced.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I'm playing it with Colorado 1 tonight.
Nice.
Highest raw point stack.
Smart.
Yeah, so I don't really care which matchup they get. They can generate against anyone. One of the most fun lines in the NHL. One-line team. They're at home, so if they don't like how it looks against Tavares and Marner, they can, next shift go out against Matthews or the Kadri line. And if this game stays anywhere close, like within 2 goals, they're going to play 20, 21, 22, 23 minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What about the Toronto side here?
Yeah, I kind of like it. Just I don't think I think it's an okay play, but I just don't think they're going to be owned. So that's sort of like why I like it. But like, it's the same problem we have with some of these other teams. Like I don't really have a thought on which line to go with here. I know Matthews grades out really well for Osimo. Yeah, the Tavares line's been better.
Right.
Yeah. I'm probably just going to get at weight, but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so Matthews, I agree. Matthews is an awesome value for that price. I just really dislike his line mates, specifically Marlowe. He just hasn't done anything, and that price will make him pop on optimizers as if you're even strength stacking. Kapanen and Marlowe's prices will kind of get you to Matthews, especially when he's 7,100. But for me, it's just Tavares and Marner. Those are the guys that I'm going to play the most of. You see the D values there. I don't agree with that. It's a really awesome power play matchup too for the Leafs. Colorado, one of the most penalized teams in the NHL. I just, I'm taking the line with 2 power play 1 guys, and then if you can get to Riley, great. If not, there's other guys that are cheaper that project about the same for me. So, mostly Toronto 1. Did you mention that Andreas Janssen is on the 3rd line with Kadri and Nylander?
No, I must have missed that.
So people like Toronto.
Connor Brown's down?
Yeah, so that helps.
Oh, that's interesting then, because that's a huge upgrade for that line. They're all super cheap. Janssen's been amazing this year, so I think that's another really viable filler stack then, because they're probably going to get 15 minutes. Kadri's using a bit of a shutdown role on the road, right? Or they just kind of roll lines, I guess. They roll those top 3.
Yeah, they're just they're not going to be able to dictate the line matching very well in this game. I don't know. Like Janssen.
I mean, Colorado 1 plays so much anyways that it's just what's the match? Like you can't really, they're a 3-line team. It doesn't.
Exactly. They're just so much deeper. So less interested in Colorado. I'm kind of making a stand, less interested in Toronto. Kind of making a stand on Tavares and Marner though when I do go to them. Kind of leaving these other 2 lines behind. So. Can't play everyone, right? You can't play every line.
Yeah.
Even though we tried it with 150, but.
I like it. I like that. I like the Toronto 3 with him. I think that's interesting.
On D here, Tyson Barrie, I think, is the obvious guy to go with Colorado 1. You like defensemen against Toronto. Steve Homercleese has talked about it all year. I don't think anything's changed. And then Sam Girard actually has been attempting about 5 or so shots per game over his last 10, which is interesting to see. Just playing more aggressive.
I've seen him pop up a little bit, so it's interesting.
And he's probably going to see quite a bit of time with Colorado 1. So if you're looking for a punt option, I know it's not really deep tonight, but he's a guy that has been playing a little bit more aggressive as of late.
I like it.
Next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we got a couple more here, and then
one more.
Oh, is this it? Last one?
Yeah.
All right, this one should be pretty quick, too.
Yeah.
Arizona. I got nothing here. Yeah, Arizona, Vegas. 2.3 implied total for the Coyotes. 3.3 for the Golden Knights. Darcy Kemper, Marc-Andre Fleury. You like Vegas here a little bit, or no?
I mean, they've just burned me so much. I was all over them that game, their last game, because they graded out well for Osimo. They were I don't know, just in a good spot at home, and they just don't seem to score. I don't know, and then you get like the best penalty kill. Chikrin's back. This should be a pretty low scoring game. I mean, their price point is so low that I think they're viable, but I'm not going to have a lot of them. I'm just sort of taking a wait and see approach for Vegas, and yeah, I'm kind of sick of losing money on them.
Yeah, so I'm kind of in a little bit of a conundrum here with what to do with Vegas, because they were a line that I was maybe going to write up, but like I mentioned, you've got a bunch of top lines with the full power play correlation in good power play matchups or plus power play matchups, however you want to put it, with teams that also commit a lot of penalties, whereas like Arizona just has the nut penalty kill basically the whole season, and Vegas's power play hasn't been great. So I don't know if I'm a fish for wanting to like Vegas 1 here.
Yeah.
I still think the prices are just insanely good for Carlson and Smith, and then Marchessault probably priced more fairly, but still maybe a little bit underpriced. They've got the advantage of even strength, no matter which line they go up against. So I do like Vegas 1 specifically on DraftKings, and then they're kind of flipped on FanDuel. Like Vegas 2 is the much more affordable play, so more exposure to Vegas 1 on DK, more exposure to Vegas 2 on FanDuel, and almost none of the other one on the other site, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Their power play, I wouldn't worry too much about the power play as well. Like, obviously, bad matchup, we already said, and they get about a 50-50 share, so that kind of, like, downgrades both lines as well. They've been getting a 50-50 share for a while now. I probably like Vegas 2 a little bit more. I don't know, but do you remember said Vegas 1?
Yeah, just because just Carlson and Smith's prices are too cheap. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing, pricing wise. Yeah.
Even with
Marchessault, I don't get it. Is it just because Marchessault shoots all the time? Is that why his price is still $6K?
I would assume so, but I'm not playing one without the other, so those prices just pull down or pull up Marchessault's value. You take all three of those guys into account. Anything else here? I like Colin Miller on D. Osmo's got him as a D value, so that worries me a little bit, but
yeah, I'm okay with him. He's another one of those guys in that like 3-4K range that are low fours, high threes that are viable. But I would still rather go with like Werenski.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna go through our maybe just run through. It's a big slate, so I like to just kind of run through a few things that each of us like on the slate, stacks or defensemen or guys that we'll have heavy exposure to. So we're gonna do that in just a second. While I still have your guys' attention, want to mention the giveaway that we're doing February 13th. That's tomorrow. We're celebrating our first anniversary at Osmo.com. So as a thank you to all of you, we are giving away an all-access annual membership, $700 value to one loyal YouTube viewer. So the way you get entered into doing that is you like this video. I see 24 of you have liked it. Should be a lot more. This is completely free. And then once you like it and refresh this video after it stops streaming, then you'll see a comment box at the bottom. You're going to comment with the player who you think is going to score a hat trick tonight. 24 teams to choose from. Shouldn't be too difficult. Pop that answer in. Maybe you get... There you go. I had Atkinson, I think. So there you go. We are both going to be eligible for the $700 value all-access annual membership. You can also go to Twitter, Osmo_com, and get entered in for a separate giveaway, which is also an all-access pass for a year. So do that. NBA All-Star break coming up. We hope to see you guys in chat, in premium Slack. Join for a month if you'd like it. I think you would enjoy it, especially the Slack chat. And then we've also got a bunch of great tools.
Slack chat's great, like especially like if you're thinking about signing up. It's one of those underrated things because everyone tries to help each other out and tries to, like we get all the last minute changes, which is like that pays for your membership right there. If you're like somebody notices something and puts it in Slack and all of a sudden you've got a line that no one else has in a GPP, it's great.
Yeah. That's huge. Just little edges like that can make or break a season. So let's go through a few of the spots that we like here.
Okay.
I'll let you start if you want to.
Buffalo 2. No, I'm kidding. I like Columbus 1 with you. I agree. That's pretty smash spot. I think that's pretty standard. I like St. Louis 1. I like Minnesota 1 and 2. I'm going to try and use a bunch of them and I like Ottawa too. And we've got a concert going on upstairs. So
Sweet.
yeah.
All right.
How
So
about you?
some music to play us out. So Boston won. I think they're going to be chalky. I still really like them. Probably going to end up around the field on them. Nothing really in this game. Not a ton to like in that one either. I really like Columbus's top six. I love targeting against the Caps. So you've got two lines and different price points. Obviously, play them wisely. Yeah, just love Columbus. Seth Jones, Werenski, take your pick there. Those guys are also at different price points. Really love Carolina 1, just awesome numbers. And then a plus matchup, I think. Dougie Hamilton is a guy I'll have a bunch of exposure to. Oh, in this game, Giordano, 6,400, one of my highest exposed guys as well. And then St. Louis 1, similar to Carolina 1, good matchup and just phenomenal numbers. Nashville 1, of course. So I'm just saying basically all the chalk. These are the teams I'm playing tonight.
I like
Yossi, it's going to be a guy I'm
Columbus too?
well overweight on. Yeah, I mentioned Columbus too.
You did. Okay.
I lean towards the Granlund line here. So they're listed as the top line. They're somewhat interchangeable, I think, in terms of ice time and stuff. Winnipeg 1 is a line that I'm not intentionally fading. I'm just not getting to as much of them as the field. And then in this one, this game's pretty important. Ton of Colorado 1 on FanDuel. I do like the Tavares Marner line over the other two lines for Toronto. And then kind of undecided on what I want to do for Vegas here. But right now it's Vegas 1 on DK, Vegas 2 on FanDuel.
I like it. Let's go win all that money. Go win that $20 contest on DK.
For sure, yeah. Hopefully
$20K.
One of us takes it down. One of us or a viewer or someone in Slack or something. So what you guys are going to do, refresh the page, comment in the comment box, not the live chat, the comment box, who is going to score a hat trick tonight. So do that in just a few seconds. Nolan, any last words here?
I got nothing. We'll see you. I guess we'll be back on Thursday. Only a 2-gamer tomorrow. So
perfect. Good luck, guys.